Theological Seminary, which was run by, trying to think of his name, but he was the former head of the New Age movement. What kind of quality preachers do you think are leading our churches today, folks? All of these seminaries are owned and turning out people that used to be in the New Age movement or have something to do with it or are Masons. And so they're not teaching the students in these seminaries the truth of the Lord's Word. And they're coming out of these seminaries and they don't know what it is, and they're going and starting up their own churches, and everybody knows there's a different church for every argument. And so we have almost 200,000 churches out there, different denominations. Every time there's an argument, a new church springs up. So get into the Word. Get away from all this man-made religion stuff. And just get back to the Lord. You don't need religion or church. And you say, well, we're supposed to fellowship. Well, what kind of fellowship are you getting, from a bunch of deadbeats? I mean, it's the blind leading the blind, folks. You can get fellowship on the Internet with like-minded believers, those who love the Lord, just as much as you can going to a church. You can start your own home church, or you can sincerely pray for the Lord to show you a good church in your area, and there might be one left that He'll lead you to. I'm not saying that 100% of the churches out there are bad, but I'm going to tell you at least 80% of them are. If you got one of those 20% in your area, then you're doing pretty good. But the Lord just doesn't want us tied up in affiliations and organizations and denominations. He wants us to come directly to Him. Listener line 260-356-2611. I don't know what he's going to do. Steve, you going on breakabout now? Steve. I don't know where he is. Steve. All right, well, he'll cut in if he wants to go on break.
We can skip the break, and the phone's ringing, so it's up to you, Sherry.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay, hold on. Why don't you go ahead and keep talking for a minute?
Okay. I'll talk about Saint Germain, who was found in Zechariah 7:11 in the Bible codes, and pretty much the same terms that were assigned to Sananda were assigned to Saint Germain. Abomination, repugnant, disgusting, abominant, desecrator, fraud, deceit, hoax, deceitful, phony, fake, Satan. Saint Germain is basically Satan in the flesh. He has a phony scar that he has in his hands, the palms of his hands, where he likes to show people where he was hung on the cross. And so I don't know who this, Sananda, Germain, are they different? Are they the same? Because it's Germain with the fake scars, the fake nail prints in his hands. Yeah.
You have Mike on the line when you're ready.
Okay, go ahead and put him on.
You're up, Mike.
Hi.
Hello, Mike. How you doing?
Very good. I love your show.
Oh,
I got a couple questions. Something you mentioned earlier. It was about what Jesus looked like.
Yeah.
And I wondered if, I don't know, I had heard somewhere, I can't remember where I read it, but that he was probably a small guy and not a particularly beautiful person, possibly even with very piercing eyes. And just wondered if you had heard any kind of, had read anything about what perhaps he really did look like.
We almost don't even want to get into that now, because if you tell them what he really looks like, then they're just going to shape-shift this Germain and Sananda into what he really looks like.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of in a no-win situation right now. He does not look like the Jesus that Michelangelo painted, that everybody has in their churches and on their walls and bookmarks and bookstores, and the long brown hair.
Yeah, and how about the way they showed angels? I mean, these are things that you would fall on your face in front of in fear.
Oh yeah, an angel from the Lord straight from the
babies. They can't even tell if they're male or female.
Yeah,
they didn't look very powerful to me.
Well, the angels that will come from the throne room will just floor you. I mean, people have wanted to worship them, and they've had to tell them not to worship them. We've seen that in the scriptures. But these fake ones well, not the fake ones, but the fallen ones, are still very much angelic-looking beings, but what they can do is fake an aurora around them to where light radiates from them, and it's a fake. It's not real light. But they're very tall. They're 7 foot, 7 to 8 feet tall. They've got blonde hair and blue eyes. Born with anomalies. They've got 6 fingers and 6 toes like Goliath did. Some of the former giants that I mentioned in the Old Testament. And so they're going to come as Satan's angelic armies. And they're going to fool a lot of people. And they claim that just in one group alone has 1 million UFOs, 1 million ships that are going to come to Earth and start assimilating with the people on the Earth. Your parks and your recreation centers are going to become landing zones for these UFOs. And they're going to take people on joyrides in their UFOs to acclimate them to mixing and blending in with them. They're going to come and say that there are forefathers that are creators, that they created us and then left, and now they're coming back, and that mankind is a test tube creation. And we know it's a lie. We know who created us. The Most High God created us out of the dust of the ground. He created man and took a rib out of Adam and created Eve. There weren't no Anik test tube creations. And this is all part of the lies at the end of the ages.
You mentioned something else that I was curious about. You said something about testing the spirit of
Mm-hmm.
And we can do that. Is that something we can do? I mean,
oh sure. You know what? If you ever had a nighttime visitation, and I don't know why this is so dominant among Christians today and having these nighttime visitations, but it seems to be a thing that this Gabriel and the Michael and the Sananda like to do. And all you have to do is say to them, I command you in the name of Yahushua to reveal yourself to me. Who are you? And they have to tell you who they are. And if they are from the Most High God, you will know. There will be no question. If they are not, they become nasty and mouthy, and you'll know one way or the other. You're going to know one way or another when you start commanding a fallen angel or a demonic being to reveal themselves to you, which one they're from. You'll know if they're from the Most High, you'll know if they're from Satan.
When you're talking about these other beings that are claiming to be angelic, I had a really powerful dream in which I did see what I thought was angels, or what I figured out was angels after I awoke. But I don't know if anybody else has had anything like this, but these things were like 10 feet tall and very, very powerful creatures.
Yeah, when they're an angel from the Most High God and they speak, they will tell you who they are and that the Lord has sent them directly. And it is in the way that they say things that you're going to know exactly who they are and where they're from. Now, these other false angelic beings won't do that. And people get this all mixed up because, they read about the angels who pose as humans, and God says that we could be entertaining angels unawares every day. But they're not claiming at that point that they're angels. They're mixing in and they're disguising as humans. They're not saying that they're an angel with a message to you. When someone comes to you and says that they have a message for you, then you test that spirit, you test that angel. You ask them who they are and command them to reveal them to you in His name. Because, these nighttime angels that come and they look like Michael and say that they're Michael and Gabriel and all this Omegan stuff that's been happening for the last, prevalent the last few years, aren't the ones from the throne room of God. Demonic beings often take on biblical figure names. We have Jesus the Christ, we have Peter, we have Mary, we have Paul. All these demonic beings will take on biblical figures and names. That's why you have to test them. And like I said, when you do test them, they just get mouthy and mean, and you'll know. Are you still on the line?
I am. I've got a very bad connection here. I think I'm going to have to hang up or maybe call back or something.
Okay.
I can barely hear. Thank you.
It must be your connection, Mike, because I'm giving you everything I got.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for calling in.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, listener, call in line. I don't know if you want to go on break now, Steve, or you're just going to